welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott. Today is lockdown day 2. And as you can see, I am out on the road. I discovered that my insurance company is allowing us to refill our medicines an additional 30 days over the normal refill limit. So basically what that means is I've got refills for 30 days on top of what I already have. And I thought that was a prudent thing to do, since where I am, the virus has not really hit yet. And so I can get my pills and I can go home and stay home. So this will be a multi-part video today. This is the morning. I've just gotten my prescriptions. I did stop by the trash dump. Didn't get within about 30 feet of any other human. I am going to stop on the way home and check the mail, because probably 98% of our mail goes to a post office box, and that is how we get paid. So I will check that, and then I'm home. And then after that, I'm only leaving the property. I won't say leaving the house, because we're working on the property. The only time we'll probably leave the house is once or twice a week, and that's to take the trash out and to check the mail. That's minimal or no human intervention there, so I don't have to talk to anybody or get near them. But that's it. I hope everybody's doing well. I know it's a different world when you can't go out and do the things that you want to do, like go out to eat, go grab a burger, go do this or that. But that's maybe good training for some. We have plenty to do at home, and we're working our plan. Our property is not quite ready for food production yet, and so we are heading down that path. We cleared a bunch of land a couple months ago, and now we're cutting up all the trees that are there and getting them ready to be moved off the land. And then once we get that cleared, then we can start working on getting the land ready. There's a lot of amendments we have to add to get it ready. While the soil was good for growing pine trees, it's not good for much else. And for those that have had to deal with land that used to have pine trees on it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But we are making progress. Yesterday we got a lot of work done. Today we'll get some more done. I have to do battle with a big stump today, and not quite sure how I'm going to get that. I have to get it out of the way is really the bottom line, and my little tractor's having trouble with that. So I may have to cut it in half, or I may have to burn it in place. I don't know, to make it smaller so I can get it moved. But life's an adventure, so they say. I hope everybody can stay home. Like I said, the places I go for the next couple of 3 weeks will be places where there'll be little or no human intervention. Typically, after getting my scripts, take the trash out once or twice a week, and check the mail once or twice a week, and that's it. No going to the stores, no going to the movies, no going to fast food. We have our supplies, and we're good to go. So part of this is a test. If we really do lock down, we could probably burn our trash. But at this point in the game, I would rather not do that until I have to. Have I burned trash in the past? Yes. And while it's okay to do, some things don't burn well, or some things you can't burn, so you have to separate. And I just assume that if I have a place to take the trash to where it's fairly safe for me, in other words, there's I don't have to touch anything other than stuff that came from my property, or talk to anybody, or go near anybody, I'd still rather do that. So that's it for this installment. I'll check back in later to finish this up. But yeah, if you have some prescriptions, like I said, mine aren't bad. I can probably live without them. But then the question becomes why. And you know, my insurance company is allowing me to get an additional 30 days, and so I'm going to do that. And then I can stay home that much longer. Like I said, where I live, the virus really hasn't hit yet, but it's getting closer and closer. It's going to come. It's going to come to where you are sooner or later. It's just a matter of time. And that, and if we have a national lockdown, which I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I think it all depends on how smart or how stupid the people are. If you're not smart enough to take care of yourself, if you're not smart enough, you know, to heed the advice of doctors and professional people, then yeah, then we have to be treated like little children and stay locked down. So hopefully I'm preaching to the choir here. Hopefully you all are prepared to stay in. Hopefully nobody in the channel will get the disease. So I'll check in later. We'll see you. All right, everybody, I'm back. As you can see, worked on the yard some more. Got down the pile back there, knocked the top off of it. Had some struggles today. That big stump I showed you on day one, I finally got it moved, and got some other logs down. They weren't quite as easy as I thought. Some of these logs are so heavy, they're really at the upper end of my little tractor. And so, but I'm getting the job done. I just have to think a little more, and that's, you know, one of the things I want to talk about is, you know, making do. And, you know, in this scenario where we are locked down, right now it's voluntary, but I just got an alert that they closed the Mexico border, so nobody in, nobody out. And if people keep doing silly things like going to spring break and gathering in large groups, you know, our governments are gonna probably take the next step. Right now they're saying please go home and stay home for 14 days. That is our guideline. But if we can't follow simple instructions, then they may mandate it, and we probably have nobody to blame but ourselves. So getting back, you know, I keep looking around to see what else, see what other work I have to do, but I can show you. Here's that one stump that I had yesterday. Let's see, let me get the, here, this is the stump. It's almost as tall and as wide, it's almost as tall as I am and as wide as I am tall. It was a big heavy stump. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is making do. You know, we're not locked down yet, so I suppose we could run to the store if we really wanted to. We are doing our level best not to. So far we don't have to. I did go get some maintenance prescriptions for me because they said I can have an additional 30 days on top of what I already had. And so I took it in case we get locked down and have to stay down longer. But I went to the drive-up window. I didn't go inside. And I took the trash out, and I took the I checked the mail. Again, no human intervention there. But making do. You know, I'm working this property, and it's hard work. I mean, it's, you know, I'm feeling it. I'm gonna go home. You know, when I go inside, I'm gonna get cleaned up, and as soon as I get out of the shower, I'm gonna pop some Aleve, which I have plenty. And I'm gonna take it easy. It's starting to get up. It's starting to go up in the 80s, and not really acclimated to that yet. You know, we went from the 60s and the 50s up to the 80s, so I gotta take it easy. When you get a little older, now you're a little more susceptible to dehydration and heat exhaustion. But I digress yet again. And you know, one of the things is making do. Now, I moved some pretty heavy logs today, and I had to think about how I was going to move them, how I was going to get them off of that stack with my little 25 horsepower tractor. And I got it done. I just had to think about it, and it's part of that making do. You know, could I call somebody? Could I call that guy that did the, knocked over all my trees with that 6-ton skid steer and call him out here? I probably couldn't. He'd probably come out and do it. But, I'm locked down, so I have to make do with what I have on my property. And you know what? That little tractor of mine is just doing the bang up job. I mean, it's doing everything I need it to do. Is it as fast as having a 6-ton skid steer? No. But I'm getting it done, and I didn't pay 4 times as much for that skid steer. So it gives me the opportunity to really think through problems, and that's one thing that we need to consider in any type of lockdown, any type of situation where we become isolated either socially or physically, is making do with what we have and figuring out how to do what we have with what we have and how to make it work. A show I kind of like to watch on TV is Life Below Zero. There's a bunch of lone wolves up there, and it's kind of interesting. We always talk about group and community, but yet you watch these other people are out there by themselves, and they're doing it. Of course, it takes hard work. And I'm kind of like that. I mean, I get enjoyment out of doing things on my own, by myself, with my stuff. I've always been that way. Maybe I should have moved to Alaska. I could have been a TV star. But when we get isolated like this, you may not have your tribe or your community because everybody is locked down and isolated. And so how are your problem solving skills? How do you make do? Have you ever had situations where you had to, we'll say, MacGyver something or think of a different way? This sort of event may become more common than we would like to. I don't know. But it is a good exercise for me. I've always been a problem solver. I've always had to work on machinery most of my life of one sort or another, and I've always had to fix it. And so I have a process in my head that I go through. But this is lockdown day 2. We're fine, no cabin fever because we're outside. We have plenty of work to do, plenty of things to do. Have power, have cell phones, have internet, have TV. Actually, I'm kind of liking it. I kind of like not going out in the world a lot for just every this or that. I kind of like the staying home thing. I might could get used to this. Well, that's all I have for today. These lockdown videos are just a quick snapshot of what I'm up to. So rain's gonna come in here later on this afternoon, so I'm done for the day. You all take care, stay safe and stay secure. We'll see you.